I say welcome everyone to our fourth of 5 webinars on the circular economy. Each Tuesday this month from 5:30 p.m. UK time, we have a different speaker presenting their work. Thank you to Dr. David Bozward of the Royal Agricultural University for inspiring this webinar series. And secondly, thank you and welcome to our speaker today, Ms. Linda Klunder. Ms. Klunder is an entrepreneur and a graduate of Wageningen University and Research. She is co-founder of Kumasi Drinks, a company that generates beneficial social impact along the cocoa value chain. The structure of today's webinar will look like this. Ms. Klunder will present for around 20 minutes, and after her talk, the floor will be opened up for your questions and answers. Ms. Klunder, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Simeon. Great being here. First of all, if you want to open your camera, if you feel comfortable with opening your camera, that would be great. So I know sort of to whom I'm talking to, especially for the Q&A, of course, because at the first I will be sharing my screen. But I always like to have at least the idea that online is a bit interactive as well. So feel free to open your camera. And then I will be sharing my screen for the first 15 minutes or so to give a small presentation on what it is of who I am, especially on what it is that I do with our company Kumasi. I'm gonna click this away. And Simeon, you let me know if something is going wrong with share screening. I hope so. So Kumasi Drinks, welcome tonight. I'm really happy to see that you're joining to learn a little bit more about our circular business model. What I'm going to discuss today is quickly about who I am and what my background is. You might have heard already a little bit about this, but I will just explain 2 or 3 sentences on how I got involved in our company Kumasi Drinks. Then we will talk about Kumasi, first of all, the company and our impact, and then a little bit about local juice revolution that I've been thinking about for not too long. And with your background in entrepreneurship and also the background of the university where you're all active in, it would be great to have like a small discussion maybe on what a role could be of local juice production facilities within Western Africa. So I'm really curious to hear your ideas about that and also really learn from you especially. And afterwards, of course, a Q&A or a discussion on Kumasi, and love to have some critical questions on what you think that some of the benefits could be of such a business model, but also some of the challenges maybe from your perspective as either an academic or student or an entrepreneur yourself. So first of all, my name is Linda. I have a background in a bachelor's in international relations and organization and politics and Arabic. And I've worked for a few years in the Middle East for a non-governmental organization. However, although I love my work, especially working in Egypt, I wanted to do something that I could quantify a little bit more. So I was really working on peace dialogues and getting several minorities together within peace talks, which was incredible to do. But I wanted to move a little bit more to the economic part of change making. So I started a master's at Wageningen University where I did development economics and specialized in econometrics. Not as deep, I didn't do a PhD obviously, but I do have a big interest in making econometric models and also especially in diving into how such models can help us in understanding development questions and challenges. So within Kumasi Drinks, I am mainly responsible for our impact and finance side. The Kumasi Drinks is a company that was born out of a documentary. I will talk a little bit about that after this. And I met Lars Kierveld, the maker of the documentary, around 2 years ago, and we had an immediate connection on making impact via social enterprise. So during my master's, I quit my job at the NGO, and 2 years ago, we started Kumasi Drinks to really make a social enterprise, a successful social enterprise, where we're selling amazing drinks with a lot of impact. So that's how I got into the juice business. No juice background at all, and I think sometimes that's an advantage. Of course, it's also sometimes a challenge when you have a company in a sector in which you do not have a background. But we do have a clear, a very strong the background in our team is storytelling, which is I think one of the most important things for a good brand is good storytelling and an impact measurement, which is for our sales extremely important as well. So what do we do at Kumasi Drinks? I want to show you
is a cocoa pod.
A small video so you get an idea of our work. So please have notice me if you don't hear the sound, and if you hear it, then I'll just play it.
This is a cocoa pod. A cocoa pod contains cocoa beans, and around those beans is a white, juicy pulp. It's fresh, fruity, and extraordinarily tasty. But the chocolate industry is only interested in the beans, so that delicious pulp gets thrown away. In Ghana alone, every year about 600 million liters of luscious cocoa fruit juice just flows into the ground. An enormous waste, we believe. And that's why we've turned it into a soft drink, so that the cocoa farmers can earn extra money and the precious juice is not wasted. The fresh cocoa beans surrounded by pulp go into a press. The juice is extracted and the beans go back to the farmers to dry for the production of chocolate. The farmers receive immediate payment and thus earn not only from their cocoa beans, but also from the pulp, up to 30% extra income. The juice is immediately refrigerated and transported to a factory of our partner in Ghana. The juice is pasteurized and packed airtight. Then it's shipped to the Netherlands where pure juice is mixed with just water or carbonated water. So, without additives. Into the bottle, label on it, and voila! Here they are, the Kumasi Sapi and the Kumasi Gassi.
So that's what we do. We make soft drinks. It's as easy as that. And why we do it? Because we believe that so far that the cocoa pulp, the fruit pulp around the beans, the cocoa beans that we all know, was wasted, and we believe that it's a waste to waste food, and at the same time waste a possible income for a group of farmers that is unfortunately extremely poor. So that's our logic. What is interesting to know is that within the waste debate, we have a lot of focus on what we're wasting at the consumer side, but around 40% of all the waste that happens when it's supply chain starts at the beginning. So with our product, we really hope to increase the income of farmers, but also create more awareness around the fact that there's still a lot to gain with good technologies at the beginning of supply chains, not only at the end. We don't only have to look at our plates. There's way more that we can do. We focus on telling the story. So we really want to make a pink print. It says blueprint here. Everybody knows what a blueprint is. I call it a pink print because I don't necessarily believe in a model that fits every single farmer's reality, of course. But with a pink print, we have several modules on how we believe we can impact farmers' life next to increasing income by purchasing the juice. We also look at community interventions. So that's what we do. With regards to impact and validation, we focus on the several topics. First of all, living income and the gender gap by increasing the income, as stressed already. Next to that, we are adding value locally by setting up both really small local facilities, not for export, but also for import. And with our purchasing partner, Goa, we're focusing on the export market. They do our processing so far, and they have around 40 to 50 people employed. And in the high season, 75 people employed within the Asinfosu region in Ghana. So that's really great to see as well. We're focused on transparency. We can follow our impact back to the farmers on an individual level with regards to the income we're creating, and to the community with regards to the community impact. So that's really cool also for storytelling. And we really believe in fair change. So we hope by telling the story and storytelling, we can really get other cocoa players and hopefully other supply chain players and other commodity players also to making an impact. I want to highlight just quickly the living income gap that we work on. So around 79% of the farmers that we work with live below a living income. This is in Ghana specific, in the region where we're active in. and we can increase this, we can decrease this gap between 10 and 30% by just purchasing the juice. And that's really cool to have such a quite a big impact on the communities in which we work by just purchasing the juice. Sounds easy, it's really difficult to get good quality of juice, but it shows that by bringing technology to the beginning of supply chains, that you can have quite some impact. So that's really cool. And next to that, we also focus on increasing the financial literacy and business savviness of the communities, as unfortunately the plots of lands are getting smaller and smaller, and we hope to inspire the youth, but also women within cocoa communities to maybe take on different jobs within communities as well. However, for us, so that is the impact part of our company. That's what we focus on. But what we want to do is bring this story to a lot of people. We don't necessarily believe in that bringing an impact story has to be in the marketing manner that we're knowing from fair trade or solidaridad, for instance, that these type of communication are really effective for their target audience, but we are really focusing on creating a trendy, a lifestyle brand is what we refer to it. So as you might have seen within my presentation, but also our branding is very flashy, and we don't scream impact. The first thing that you have to notice is that it's a cool brand, and then the second line is hopefully that you are aware that what you're drinking is also good. But everything should be about the fact that you want to be associated with the drink, and that's why this is sort of the voice of tone of our marketing.
Is an extraordinary drink made from the extraordinary fruity juice of the cocoa fruit. For the hipster who wants to stand out among all the latte macchiatos with oat milk. For the yogi who lives and is 100% natural. For the businessman who would like to give back to the world. And for everyone who just wants something different.
Same as usual, sir.
Naturally. What else?
Kumasi, naturally different.
So that is our big export line, what we focus on. So that is the Kumasi brand here in the Netherlands, where we started currently, and that is what we've been working on so far. However, I've just come back from the field. I've been in Ivory Coast and Ghana for the past couple of weeks, where we're also focusing on setting up local juice lines. The difference between the local juice lines and the juice line, the juice production facility where we're sourcing from now, is that first of all, we are doing them together with a production partner in Ghana. So we're purchasing the juice now via them. And that is a really high quality of juice and has been certified also for export. But we believe that there's way more to the juice than merely the export. We want to add as much value as we can locally. So what we've done the last 3 weeks is that we're setting up a Wafle in the Ivory Coast and Bango, two very local lines where that it will only be serving the Wafle and Bango area and the surrounding communities. And we hope that a lot of such small juice facilities, local juice facilities will start popping up. And we're now really in the initial phase of thinking how we're gonna organize that, and also if we're gonna either do it via a Kumasi Foundation or a Kumasi that is going to be part of our business model. So with the business model, we can also support other local facilities to start up. And I think that would be a perfect discussion point maybe to discuss here, as you all have a background in entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial studies. So if you have ideas on this, I will be more than open to receive some literature or some examples of what you think would be a good way to approach such a new part of our current strategy. And what you see here is at the left picture, you see our team in the Ivory Coast producing our local juice there, which is a pulp. Where you see the pulp, and this is the machine how we press the juice. And here you see the farmers tasting the cocoa juice for the first time. And that was really a great experience. So I would love to hear in the Q&A a little bit about what your ideas are, what you find inspiring, also if you have some tips and ideas with regards to the local business cases. And yeah, that's it. If you have any questions for me next, thank you for your time.